Americas. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Post Youth, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the American Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Virtus Pro. It is Astrea. And if you're in the chats, get your gamba going. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series, or whether you think it'll go the way of ByuN or Astrea. Best of luck. As I'm honestly really surprised that this made it through the veto process. For the first time tonight, we're going to be able to cast on Post Youth. Post Youth, one of the more vetoed maps in the map pool, but not here, not in this series. I'm curious if either player will be rushing into the goal base a little bit faster. Bearing in mind some of the unique features of Post Youth is the in-base hybrid expansion with half gold minerals. Again, because it's in your main, it is very defendable as well, so you can be very secure on two bases initially. Likewise, taking the third is not too difficult either. As we do have ByuN going for an economic opener, single gas out of ByuN, so it racks into CC. Is going to be economic. Astrea does confirm. Astrea is aware, as he does double check the gases. So just making sure the predictions have been working. Just making sure. Oh, hold on. My apologies. There we go. Now the predictions are open in the chat. I do apologize. I did forget to pay out the Nightmare series. So predictions are now open. Place your bets while you can. Until then, we do have our setup here. Again, ByuN taking his expansion, going for the factory follow-up. Meanwhile, across the map, Astrea likewise going for his own economic opener as well, settling into his two bases. But where do we go from here? That is the real question. I mentioned earlier there is that gold base here in the center of the map. You have a gold for either player. It's quite exposed. There is high ground right next to it. It's quite difficult to actually maintain. Hello, Astrea. What are we doing? What's up? He goes for... He's crazy. So Astrea, he goes for the greediest build you can go for. This is Gate Cyber Nexus into a second Nexus. This is the army. One sentry. This is all Astrea has. This is insanely greedy, and this should not work, but we'll see. We'll see if Astrea can get away with it. ByuN back at home is getting to his 1-1-1, building up his bio-based army. ByuN currently is in the dark. Thankfully for Astrea, no Reaper. There's no Reaper from ByuN, so no scouting. No scouting here from our South Korean Terran player. So ByuN, he doesn't know that there's anything to punish. He doesn't know, Pat. And ByuN is setting up for a Widowmine drop. Now, if he moves out with Widowmines and Marines, then ByuN, he can punish Astrea by getting so many worker kills. Again, this is the army. 2 sentries. That's the army for Astrea. This drop can pop off. Oh, ByuN's moving out. He is spotted. There's only one gateway so far, but there we go. We have more gateways finishing up. Recall towards the gold. Shield batteries on the way. Okay, we have 2 stalkers and 2 sentries. And ByuN, he doesn't move out with the Marines. He only moves out with the Widowmine drop. Uh-oh. Okay. He's moving out with both. Does move out with both. But last, I do think that Astrea, he has enough to defend his natural, or his gold, I should say. Widowmine drop comes in. Astrea does notice. Pulls away. Whew, does pull away in time. And Marines, they focus on one sentry, they get both. Uh-oh. Both sentries do fall. 3 stalkers left. And ByuN now confirms. Now he gets eyes on the expansion. Gets 1 stalker. But Astrea gets a 2nd stalker. Oh my god. ByuN getting a lot of value. Meanwhile, back across the map, he escapes with both Widowmines. Does get away. ByuN is just rallying everything across the map. Gets a 3rd stalker. Astrea fighting out of range of the shield battery. The tank is sieged. Mineral End is under fire. Oh, that is 6 probes going down so quick. I should say 4. That was 4 probe kills here at the gold, and 2 in the natural. Liberator sieging up as well, and again, ByuN, he's just not slowing down. He knows that the pressure is on. He has to make sure this gold base does not get saturated, and it isn't. At the same time, Widowmine drop also threatening the main. Stalkers diving in. They take down the Marines and the tanks as well. ByuN overextending. Why I say that is still trading not too poorly, but both tanks fall. Widowmine jump up. Doesn't quite connect, but they will zone away the workers. Astrea, he's holding. Gains up the tanks. Widowmine drop once again is denied. Astrea is pushing across the map towards the natural. There's a tank in position. Astrea, gets the Liberator. Liberator goes down as well, gets into the main. Rotates over. Boys are being pulled. And Astrea, he is getting away with it. Gets 3 SCV kills. Is forced back, but he has the gold. It's up and running. It's saturated. Oh my god. A wild game here out of Astrea, but so far he's pulling it off. He's holding. Massive gateway explosion. That's 5 gates on the way. Gonna be 8 gates in total. Mass charge lot. I mean, that's a way to make use of the gold minerals. Here's a way to make use of it. Blink Stalkers are out just to contain ByuN. And ByuN is stuck on 2 bases. Now, he is heavily fortified with tanks, but the win condition for Astrea is not to push into this kind of setup. It's to deny the third. It's to contain ByuN, keep him on 2 bases. You can see the rallies, you can see the rotations here, making sure there's no drop play sneaking out. And Astrea, from here, he can take a 4th. He can just take another expansion, take a 4th base, gain map control, and build up. But this is still the first step. You can see Astrea, he's just throwing down so many pylons. He is so paranoid about drop play. Speaking of, medevacs are in production, and ByuN will soon move out. Whether it's a main army move out or a drop, we'll see. ByuN slowly moving out. Again, Stim and Combat Shield's finishing up. Dust him out. So Astrea away. Astrea pulls back. ByuN spots the Observer. He gets it. Keen eyes from ByuN. Gets the Observer. Unsieging his tanks. And he's pushing. ByuN, he is moving out across the map. With a terrifying army. Going for a split push, actually. Double drop towards the left. Main army on the right. Oh, that's a lot of charge lots. And ByuN is that much more exposed here without those reinforcements. Storm is done. Oh, Storm is done. Astrea, he can dive on this. Tanks are unsieged. When my shot goes up, gets baited out. Nice bait from Astrea. Better connection. Forced to recall, drop into the main. And Astrea did miss this massive recall back home. Astrea pulls back. Ooh, and this drop gets 6 probe kills, trades with the Stalkers. Not bad. It's going to be a one-way trip, but this was worth it for ByuN. Honestly, if it wasn't for this double drop, ByuN would have been in so much trouble. Remember, he was unsieged, he was racing up the ramp. Storms were holding his tail. And ByuN, he keeps dropping. He moves out once again with a quadruple drop towards the left. And Astrea has no vision. He has no scouting. And recall's on cooldown. No! Recall's on cooldown! ByuN gets in! Astrea out of position! He turns around. Oh, and the base is under fire. The production as well. Everything gets depowered. And Astrea, he's going for the counterattack. The natural falls. It's a tough call to make. But ByuN is SimCity. Yes, tanks in position, Widow Mines as well. And massive mine shots. At the same time, we do have a Storm in the main. Oh my god. My apologies, but a Storm drop into the mineral line. 18 SCVs go down. Both players are hurting. Storms as well. That's a lot of High Templar. That's a lot of Storm. Astrea does defend. He cripples the economy. This is still up in the air. ByuN even canceling the CC. Just to get whatever he can. To make another wave of units. ByuN down to 32 workers. Storm drop coming back in. Once again. Up. Storm gets 5 more SCVs. But I don't think ByuN can actually break Astrea. There are so many High Templar. There's so many Storms. The Storms, they keep on dropping. Oof. A little bit trigger happy, but it looks like we have 2 more storms left. 1 storm. There we go. The final storm gets spent. Overcharge gets popped. No more storms remaining. Archon's morphing in. And ByuN is all in. ByuN takes down the shield battery, but we have another storm. Oh my god. Barely not. And tanks are exposed. Likewise, Archon falls as well. It's such a close fight. But Astrea, he's holding on. He's holding, fat. Takes down the Marines. Zones away the army. And Astrea, he holds on to the 3rd base. GG gets called as ByuN was all in, and Astrea takes game number 1. That was wild. GG, well played. That was insane. Astrea rushing into an insanely fast 3rd base. Remember, that was a Gate Cyber Nexus opener out of Astrea, and ByuN did spot this, did try to punish. Remember, he rallied his first 2 tanks and his Liberator across the map towards the gold. Likewise, his drops were getting so much damage as well. There was no recall available, bases were falling left and right, but the Storm drop was the nail in the coffin there. That was the MVP for Astrea. The Storms, pappy. He got so many SCV kills in the main base. ByuN was late to react, late to pull away, and that forced ByuN all in. ByuN didn't want to. Remember, he had a 3rd CC on the way. He was building up towards a longer and later game. He was looking to take an economic lead over his opponent after killing the natural. But, alas, his economy was crippled. GG, well played. We're going to game 2. And Astrea has a lead. Astrea does take a lead. Meanwhile, it looks like we do have to fix something as well. Fix that up. And we're getting into our next series, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Virtus Pro, leading the series 1-0. It is Astrea. So this build is pretty sweet if Terran opens up fast 3cc. I do agree. That isn't what happened last game, which is why it was so chaotic, which is why it was so intense. Which is why it's more impressive that Astrea, despite the fact that ByuN did not open up too greedily, did open up, racks expand, I guess. But despite the fact that ByuN is scattered, he tried to punish, and Astrea held on regardless. It's crazy. Very well done, very well played here by Astrea. Again, I'm not so sure that ByuN has actually faced off against that build before, so he was, I'm sure, playing off the cuff. Trying to keep up with the kind of play style of Astrea. And that's what's so fun about Astrea, is that he does often come up with his own builds, or he does often just try unorthodox things. He's a very creative player, and hey, it worked. Did work out well for him in game 1. We'll see what Astrea has for us here in game 2. Well, what's he got up his sleeve? What do you have? What's he been cooking? Let's go. Here we go. As we do have a ByuN opening up double gas this time. So double gas open out of ByuN, going racks into factory. A much more aggressive start here by ByuN. Aggressive / safe, depending on how you want to phrase it. But it is going to be a delayed CC for the Terran. Likewise, opening up Reaper this time as well. After the last game, ByuN, he's now been put on notice. And he's going to be that much more attentive as to what Astrea is up to. As the Reaper does move out. Reaper moves out across the map. It's the natural. Meanwhile, Astrea going for his Twilight Council. So Gate Cyber expand into Twilight Council, standard opener out of Astrea. Nothing wild this time, not yet at least. And ByuN needs to confirm. does dip into the main once the probe will be zoned away. So far, Astrea is keeping up. Oof. He's going to get juked though. Stalker has arrived. And so far, Astrea doesn't lose anything. Oh, it does lose one probe for the Reaper though. Not bad. I mean, Astrea, sure, he lost the worker, but he does deny the scout, and ByuN is in the dark. While the console is complete, Blink is on the way. ByuN moving out with the initial Cyclone. Handful of Marines as well. Moving on the right-hand side. Looking for proxies. Likewise, ByuN moving out with his Marines as well towards the left. Checking for any hidden pylons, any proxy Stargate, for example, or just Gateway. ByuN being very careful. Being careful, does find the Adept at least. Behind this, getting to his own 1-1-1. Medevac is on the way, tank production has begun. And I imagine with the arrival of that Medevac, ByuN is going to be moving out across the map, even ahead of time. Meanwhile, how many gateways for Astrea? It was Blink, that is true, but 2, 3, or 4 gates. But now we have a third gateway on the way, very safe opener out of Astrea. We'll have excess, or we'll have extra warp-ins available for a stronger Stalker army, which is going to be ideal against this move out from ByuN. As ByuN is pushing. Marines are rallying out. Medevac as well. Oh, the Adept barely does miss the move out. Uh-oh. Astrea, he doesn't see, he doesn't know. Is ready for an expansion. And ByuN does sneak up on it. Yeah, the tanks are sieged. Probe goes down. And Astrea trying to catch reinforcements, barely does miss them. We'll see if he can collapse on the army. Tank on sieges. ByuN trying to sneak out. Astrea does spot it. Oh, the Prism! No! Prism overextends! Massive pickup! Prism goes down. Astrea does push forward. But nice juggling here by ByuN. Avoids many of the Stalker shots. Does pull away, has the high ground, still rallying. Astrea going for a counterattack instead. And as he counterattacks, a massive shout out to Dave Testa in the chat. Gah, papi, gah. Sad to see that you weren't able to play your match earlier, but thank you so much for the gifted subs. Tank gets started down. Nice pick up here by Astrea. Gets a Cyclone as well. Gets a tank, gets a Cyclone, but bleeds out a lot of Stalkers. Astrea taking a lot of losses here. Pulls away. Will escape. Third base getting up and running. Oh, but there is a Liberator across the map. Astrea does respond in time. Only one probe goes down. A nice defense by Astrea. And he does escape with at least 5 Stalkers. Does get away. Honestly, handling that situation quite well. It was a really rough start for Astrea as he did miss the move out, but was able to keep up. Was able to at least respond, counterattack, force ByuN back home, and get his third. Behind this, ByuN getting into his own additional tank production. Stim is on the way. ByuN is contained. As is contained. But again, shout out, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. I guess 8 in total. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you for the supports, as always, as always. Oh wait, what? Wait, does Twitch give free gifted subs? I didn't even know that was a thing. I guess that's a part of September, question mark? I mean, September's over, but at least I guess now we know. So thank you, man. Gracias, gracias. Thank you for the gifted subs. Astrea back at home, getting to Colossus production. 4th base on the way. Colossus production has begun. ByuN likewise moving out. Spotted by the Stalkers. He's not all in. 3rd CC is almost done for ByuN. But still being quite assertive. Gaining map control. Taking it away from Astrea. But again, Astrea, he's just trying to buy time for those Colossus. There's one so far. Second is on the way. ByuN rotating around. Does unsiege his tanks. A very committed move out here by ByuN. 3 tanks. +1 is about to finish up. Combat shields as well. And the move out is spotted. Astrea knows. Can he get the tanks? Up! Gets a Marauder. Barely 1 second too late. The tanks do get away. That was almost disastrous for ByuN. Almost. But upon being scattered, ByuN backs off. ByuN, he backs off, he wants none of it. And more importantly, because of that little engagement, because ByuN is forced back, that means Astrea gets a second Colossus. Second Colossus now spawns in, and now Astrea can start up his third Colossus. And take his 4th base. Whew. If it wasn't for that, ByuN would have gone across the map, would have threatened the natural, would have threatened the main, or the third even. Rotating once again. Astrea threatening a Zealot counterattack. Uh-oh. ByuN does spot the Zealots. Does react in time. And Astrea, he will have to pull away. Does get into the mineral line, but gets 1 SCV. And a Widow Mine, but not the best trade here from Astrea. Yeah, the Zealots are shut down. 4 CC in production. ByuN building up towards a later game. Astrea gets away. And interesting, Astrea, he only gets up to 2 Colossus. Just the 2, then he starts up Disruptors. The balls are coming up. The balls. Let's go. Disruptors have arrived. Just the 1 for now. ByuN taking a more defensive stance. The Observer does confirm. And Astrea just fans out his pylons, fans out his workers, getting vision of the entire map, and takes another base. At this point, there's no reason not to. I mean, once he does get eyes on the 4th, he hasn't seen the 4th CC yet, but there we go. 5th is on the way. We're settling in. Are settling in. In September, they gift random subs for every 5. Oh, I see, I see. Okay, we found out at the end. Now we know. Now we know. But again, thank you for that, Dave. Thank you. Do appreciate it. ByuN is taking his 4th. Astrea and ByuN are both maxing out. Ghost production has begun. Vikings as well from the side of our Terran player. And for the time being, the players are just posturing against each other. A nice bit of 3 tanks. Zealots, they do try to threaten the 4th. Astrea, ooh, does take a lot of shots to the face. Leading out Zealots. Not the best start of the engage here for Astrea. But at least he still has map control, and he's maxed. From here, I would love to see a second Robo. Not good. Oh, okay, we're good, we're good. We're on double Robo production. That will help when it comes to replacing our Disruptors, if Astrea does lose them. 3-2 on the way. And ByuN is looking secure, establishing his own 4th. And a lot of this will come down to the next engage. ByuN revealing some of his forces on the right. Astrea here towards the left. And Astrea, he is set up to threaten the 4th, to threaten the planetary. We'll see if he can. ByuN is in position. Behind this, we see Astrea getting into all 3 forms of splash damage. Colossus, Disruptor, and Storm. Oh, the main army is spotted. Oh, Astrea coming from behind! The opposition! Yeah, he breaks in. Oh, takes down a good chunk of Marauders, never goes off. Massive connection. Marauders go down in a very strong start for Astrea. Yeah, he did sneak in. Gets a Ghost. Ghost goes down, nice EMP on the Zealots. And Astrea, he just sends it across the map. Takes down even more Ghosts as well. There's still a good chunk behind this though. ByuN is going to be able to hold on, forces Astrea back. Astrea denies the 5th, denies the 6th base as well, forces a cancel. But again, Astrea, he was so patient, just lying in wait, waiting for the moment for ByuN to overextend, and did punish him. And Astrea, he knows he has momentum. He knows that he has ByuN up against the ropes. There's one tank behind this. Nice EMPs on the Colossus. Never goes off. One over left. Up. Ooh, does overshoot. No connection. But Astrea, he gets the base. He gets a planetary. That's what matters. Could have gotten the army as well. The Nova had potential. But Astrea pulls back. Takes down the expansion. And ByuN, he's hurting. He's hurting right now because Astrea, he can just reinforcing and just keep going. This time, this position is that much weaker. Oh, Astrea being cheeky. Calm down. Rotates. Prism is denied. War Prism goes down. That will impact reinforcements as well for Astrea. His abilities to warp in on the front lines. More disruptors are building up. Zealot run right here towards that planetary. Main army does engage. Never goes up. Grazes the army. Better connection towards the end. Much better connection. Zealots, they do hit the 4th. Delaying the CC. And ByuN is just stuck at home. Personally, given this kind of position with this many bases, with this much map control, give us a Stargate and Fleet Beacon. Like, I feel like now is a really nice moment for Astrea to get ready for Sky Toss, or at least like have that tech available if he needs it. But on the same time, Astrea, he still is looking quite secure. Has High Templar, Storm, Disruptors. Still has a very solid ground army. Let's engage. Nova zoning back the ByuN. One Colossus goes down. Second is under fire. And both Colossus fall. Let's pick off there with the Vikings. Astrea getting back into his Colossus production. Back underway. ByuN has the Concave. ByuN keeping up. Maxing out as well. Get some OK Novas. ByuN just poking in, looking for an opportunity. Does establish his expansion. Planetary getting back up and running. ByuN is securing himself. But Astrea does catch some of these ghosts. And 2 ghosts go down. Disruptor gets sniped. Up! Never goes up. Some OK storms connecting with ghosts. Very intense fight there. No major losses from either side. Just some small pickups here and there. The tank does survive somehow. Does live. ByuN getting to +3 ship weapons. Still in a low Viking count. Just 2 Vikings for ByuN. Establishing a 5th CC. Astrea is aware. He does need to deny it. Gets both Vikings. Viking count down to 0. Nova's going off. Good connections. And it looks like Astrea, he might just have too much. Massive connections here on ByuN. ByuN getting bullied back. He just cannot keep up. The 5th base is going to go down. There's no saving it. No shot. Not like this. Massive storms as well. Zoning the main army away. And GG gets called. ByuN, he just cannot keep up. Not anymore. And Astrea will take the 2-0. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations, Astrea will claim the series 2-0. Again, a very unique build in Game 1. Here in Game 2, ByuN's aggression was punished. If you recall, ByuN was being very assertive here early on, trying to be active on the map. Astrea was able to deter that, was able to counterattack, force ByuN back home, and force out a longer kind of game state. Nice engagements as well. Again, really patient play from Astrea. And even though I do feel like there was maybe some opportunities for Astrea to tech up, he still just maintained map control. He maintained an economic advantage as well, and was able to just bully ByuN back time and time again. GG. GG, well played. Very impressive play there. And Astrea advances on to the grand finals. GG. And now we are heading over to find out who faces off against Astrea in those finals. Who's it going to be? Who is it going to be? Will it be or semis?